From LALATE News Headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Mornings LALATE.
It's a big morning of Mornings LALATE with incredible great news about your fourth stimulus check update of 2021. In this recording today, direct and live from Santa Monica, we're going to go over that recon and when it's going to get done. The incredible great news is that everything that's in the recon is staying in there, and everything that is vowed to go in there can still go in there across the board. We're going to go over the big checks that are closed to go into this incredible recon that'll pay you the biggest payout across the channel in its history. The recon is called the fourth stimulus recon, and in this fourth stimulus check updated to 2021 today, we're going to go over the passage of that recon in the House, and now the passage vowed in the Senate. House members and Senate members overnight said the recon will get passed in just a few days. I'm going to go over the latest details. Now that it's not getting done by Christmas, when is the next timeline? The Senate changes will be robust and will bring you a big payday. How much? On average, $15,000. Wow. This is a lot of money. I'm going to show you how to get these incredible checks. There's many checks, multiple checks, lots of checks in this fourth stimulus recon. As the toast is toasting and the butter is buttering and the cough is brewing, no time or place to wait for fourth stimulus to come law, because you can get big money right now. And where do you get it from? It's called third stimulus. And in this recording, I'm going to show you how viewers have walked away with at least $5,000 checks in the last few days after they got $45,000 earlier this year. We're going to go over all the incredible money in this recording. Then we turn to the big money that is being proposed for student loan debt forgiveness, the latest details on this stimulus and the impact of it on your COLA raise, and of course your SNAP raises and decreases across the board. Then I have the latest details of what happened with the Federal Reserve and its impact on your recon. It's brand new analysis you haven't heard anywhere else, because this, my friends, is the #1 channel in America for geopolitical news, and the great news is third stimulus is paying you out right now, and fourth stimulus will pay you out shortly thereafter. I have all the incredible details, and this is the first Mornings Live show since the breaking announcement from the president. I'll have all the analysis across the board if you missed last night's afternoons and evening show. The excitement starts right here as Mornings LALATE gets underway, starting right now. Hey, good morning, everybody. I hope you are good. Here we go. The recon is going to get passed by the Senate after it was passed by the House. So says House and Senate Democrats this morning. This is breaking news this morning. The Senate changes will be robust, and there's a lot of checks already in there. And those checks going on top of that include an MSC, $2,000 the first month, $1,000 thereafter for up to 6 months. So says the legislators. That's on top of the existing checks that are going to pay you at least $15,000. Wow, there's a lot of money, folks. Then we're going to go over the big money available right today. It's third stimulus, how viewers are cleaning up from it. $5,000 checks before Christmas. Yes, you can still get this before the 24th. You got a full work week. Next week, you can get this money, and I'll show you how to get more of it in the final 5 minutes of this video. Then we'll be turning to your student loan debt offer from the president. The latest details on that student loan debt offer. And then we'll be turning to fifth stimulus. You've been asking questions about how your SNAP benefits are going up or not because of COLA. I've seen the questions. They're great questions. I'll be answering them in this recording. Then I'll give you my analysis of what happened with the White House, Chuck, and that December 24th vote. I'll go over what happened with the Senate parliamentarian. Did she remove provisions? Which ones did she remove? Then I'll be cutting over to where is the recon now that we have a new upsurge of the variant. This is brand new breaking news this morning. You haven't heard this before. I'm excited you're here because the toast is toasting, the butter is buttering, the cough is brewing, and the butter and the bacon is. Do we have any bacon? I don't know. Oh, we do have bacon. We do have bacon. And with that, I want you part of this incredible family. So go into this video right now and subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. Become a member to the #1 most watched geopolitical news channel in America, #3 financial news channel overall. Join today. The membership link's under the video. Also sign up for those LALATE alerts, which is totally free. So you get a newsletter alert when the newsletter comes out and when any other breaking news comes out as well. That is news.lalate.com/alerts. And with that, let's go over this incredible recon. The recon has a lot of money in there, folks, for you. How much? At least $15,000. It's across 3 clusters and 3 add-ons and checks, and let's go over each of those checks right now. And here we go. It has in there hazard pay in first cluster, $4,000 for elder care, $4,000 to care for the young children. They got in the Pell Grant, $550 check for my college students. They got in there the home repairs of your low-income community, the $3,600 for the CTC, the child tax credit, and then $12,500 for the purchase of a new electric vehicle. Wow. The first add-on comes from the illustrious Maxine Waters here in Southern California. She wanted to give you $25,000. She got a little bit less. And what is this money for? It is for the purchase of your first home. Incredible. This is free money for the purchase of your first home. She wanted $25,000. She got a little bit less, but needless to say, this is true deliciousness. How do you get these sums of money? It's coming up later in this video. Again, she wanted 25. She got a little bit less. Let's turn to the second cluster checks. Second cluster checks has in there more home repairs and paid leave. Also has in there universal pre-kindergarten, expansion of the household tax credit. And this home repair is to weatherize your home. Not winterize. Winterize is a different word. If you're at the McConnell residence, they've already winterized for the holiday season. Yeah, they got the lobster decorations, the lobster lights, the lobster teeny. Oh, is that a Cosmo you're serving me? No, it's a lobster teeny. I do not want to think what's in there. Are you running? Yeah, I am running. Where's the door? I'll go to Ted Cruz's party, which I think would be just about as bad. But let's go to the second add-on at checks. It comes from the illustrious Bob Casey. He wanted to get it in there because the president wanted you to get it. And what is it? It's not an actual check. This one is a benefit. $250 billion of free home health care for my seniors and disabilities. Wow. He wanted $250. He got a little bit less. How do you get these incredible sums of money? Stay with me to the final minutes of this video. It's coming up. Third cluster has in there money for seniors and free internet. This is the cluster we call deliciousness. That's DAHLICUISNESS. Deliciousness. In this third cluster, we got in there immigration reform. No, we don't. Breaking news. The Senate parliamentarian has removed immigration reform from the third cluster, just as that purple loving kid from Los Angeles had told you would happen. Dead on correct with that one, folks. It got removed last Thursday. Well, everything else stayed in there, thank goodness. Cheaper prescription medication got in there and staying in there. Free school meals for all checks in there. Then they got in there the money for the farmers, free internet, and then the money for the seniors, which in this case is a benefit. First, 2 on the House, and then 3 on the Senate. And this is why it's important to watch today's video, because why? The House members got in there 2 provisions for the seniors, which are the Medicaid gap fix and the hearing. The senators vowed to add 3 more, which are dental, vision, and lowering the eligibility age of Medicare. But at the time of this recording, you're watching it live, the senators still are not finished with the recon and put them in there yet. So those 3 provisions are not in there. And does that sound familiar to something else? Of course it sounds familiar to something else, which is MSC, which stands for multiple IRS stimulus checks. There's multiple checks in this recon, but this is the one that would come from the IRS, 1 or more months. And the legislators on the Senate are not done with the recon. So this is great news for you. They can still add in an MSC because guess what? The negotiations are still going on with this recon. And when they talk about MSC, how much, when, where, let's go over all the details. Last time they talked about an MSC, they told viewers of this channel $2,000 the first month, $1,000 thereafter for 6 months. Then they talked about the same eligibility as a third stimulus check. Single individual, $75,000 less, got it. Married couple, $150,000 less, got it. Double it. Family of 4, got it. Quadruple it. And if you're on benefits, SSI, SSDI, Social Security or Railroad benefits, you got that third as well. It is not taxable. It's not income. And it would be offered in all U.S. states. It is not state stimulus. This is federal stimulus. And finally, it is also offered to adult dependents and everyone across the board. So what happened in the last 2 weeks? The legislation landed. The Senate, I told viewers to re-advocate because they were told back in the month of May by thousands of phone calls from six senators that it's going in there. But I said to re-advocate, and boy, did they ever. And those 6 senators, again, said it's going in there. Janet being told by Chuck Schumer's office that's going in there via Bernie. Len Glenn being told the same thing from Bob Casey. Tyrell being told the same thing from Chris Coons. Donnie being told the same thing from Ron Wyden. And Len Glenn being told the same thing from Bob Casey. And also Bonnie being told the same thing from Liz Warren. So it's important for you to advocate across the board. And who do you advocate to and what do you say? Advocacy involves telling why you need it for its inclusion. And the senators you want to advocate to are the same we've been advocating to since the month of May. And I have more about those 6 senators that is brand new at this morning's broadcast coming up later in this video, so stay with me. And they are, oh, wrong graphic. They are Casey, Coons, Warren, Wyden, Sanders, and Schumer. You want to advocate to them. And I have an insight about them coming up later in this video, so stay with me. Again, you want to advocate to Casey, Coons, Warren, Wyden, Sanders, and Schumer. But as that coffee is brewing and the toast is toasting, you do not want to stop there because you want to also advocate for your wallet. Advocating for your wallet involves getting the big money available for today for third stimulus. Third stimulus is still paying out, and the average viewer of this channel has gotten 4 to 6 months of rent, $5,000 in the last 2 weeks. And additionally, 2 utilities. I'm going to show you how to get this money after you got $45,000 early this year, and I'm going to show you 2 other ways to get this money in the final 5 minutes of this video. Student loan debt forgiveness, the latest details on that coming up in just a second. It was there and then it disappeared. Here it is. Where are you? Come on out. There you are, student loan debt. Then we'll be turning it to a lot of questions I've been getting across the board about that COLA raise and your SNAP plus fifth stimulus. It's coming up in the second half of this video. Your questions answered on air. Then, of course, we'll be turning back to this incredible recon. When will it pass? And what about all those checks? Will there be more checks? And what are the Senate changes? And what is the passage date? Those analysis, those details coming up in the second half of this video. I'll be back with you in 60 seconds as a big, huge breaking news report of Mornings LA live on air continues. But first, here is a little bit about the community page. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on Mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues right now in the second half. As that recon will become a law in the month of January, the legislators represent today. The Senate changes will be robust in this incredible recon. Among them is lowering the eligibility age of Medicare. During the commercial break, one of the viewers asked, what are they looking at for that age? They're looking at either 55 or 60. The incredible programs of this recon will give you a lot of checks, many checks, multiple checks, at least $15,000 of them, even before they add in that MSC. I'm going to go over each of these checks in the second half of this video. Then we're going to turn to the big money that viewers are getting today. Viewers are averaging now $5,000 in their wallet, in their hand, this third stimulus. I'm going to show you how to get it. Student loan debt forgiveness, the latest details on that, plus the breaking news about what's going on with this stimulus and your COLA and your SNAP. I have all the analysis. Meantime, what happened with the latest financial data in the face of what's happening with the virus. This is brand new detail about the virus and its impact on the economy and its impact on your recon. It's brand new. You have never heard of this before. It comes all together in the final minutes of this video. So with that, I want you to subscribe. Go right on this video, subscribe. Like the video, 2,000-3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member of the #1 most watched channel in the United States, broadcast or internet in the subject matter, LALATE. Sign up for that big newsletter, which is under the video. It's at news.la.com/alerts. Totally free to sign up for that as well, so you do not miss anything in this incredible recon. And with that, let's go into the big recon and the big payout with those incredible checks across the board. And what do you need to know about this recon? Brand new this morning is the following. Legislators in both the Senate and House this morning say, despite what happened in the last 48 hours, the recon will become a law. Let me give you a step back. If you missed afternoons and evenings, LALATE special reports last night that were nearly 1 hour live on air. It was something we never done before. What happened? 2 to 3 weeks ago, Leader Schumer issued a written statement and also had a series of verbal statements that were much the following. One, first version said the recon will become law by Christmas Eve. The second version is the recon will pass the Senate by Christmas Eve, and that the voting on the recon would start this coming week. That means that if it's to become a law, they would need 4 days to work in both the Senate and the House. They have a 5-day work week. If they're looking at January to Friday, December 24th, they have enough days. Or they just want it to become a law, pass in the Senate. It's only 3 days in a 5-day work week, so they had enough time. What happened after that? What happened after that was Joe Biden had meetings with Chuck Schumer and understood that Chuck Schumer was ready to call this vote coming next week. And Chuck Schumer was waiting for the president to send him a letter that says, Chuck, go ahead and call the vote next week. Chuck Schumer had not received that letter by Wednesday. And he asked the president, where's the letter? Because I have to tell my legislators, guess what? We are voting next week. I told you we would, but we are. So stay in town. We're voting next week starting Monday. He had not received that letter by Wednesday. What also happened on Wednesday? Wednesday, the president of the United States had meetings with Joe Manchin. They did not go well. The negotiations did not go well. Also, what happened on Wednesday was that there was a quote by the president to press when asked, do you think that the recon is going to become a law by Christmas? He says, I certainly believe so. That was Wednesday. 24 hours later, Thursday, the president issues a very long statement and says, sorry, we need a couple more weeks. How did he suddenly need a couple more weeks when on Wednesday he said it was going to become a law this coming week? And then 24 hours later, he says, I need a couple more weeks. The reason why it changed was because of Joe Manchin. The president in his statement has 3 quotes, 3 times mentioning Joe Manchin's name. In reaction to the president's statement, Joe Manchin says, that's his statement, it is not my statement, meaning Joe Manchin disagreed with the situation. What are third parties saying about what happened? Liz Warren said Joe Manchin had agreed to certain provisions. And I was sitting there and listening to him over the last few weeks. And he said, I agree to this, I agree to that. And then suddenly at the 11th hour, he's saying, I didn't agree to certain provisions. So we had seen in these final days going into this week that there was really maybe 1 or 2 issues for Joe Manchin, which I covered on this channel, that he was not making a determining factor on, like paid leave. But as Liz Warren says, suddenly at the 11th hour, he was making it sound like he wasn't agreeing to a lot of stuff, wasn't disagreeing, but hadn't made up his mind when he had already previously told these people they hadn't made up his mind. So the president told Chuck Schumer, do not call a vote. And so Chuck Schumer is not calling the vote. What is the reaction today? The reaction today is among both House and Senate Democrats. Is the recon absolutely categorically will get done in January for a series of many reasons. One, they have to because the midterm elections, they'll get clamored. Number 2, there's a lot of Democratic congressmen up for re-election, and they think they're going to get thrown out if this recon does not get passed in January. Number 3, It's looking really bad right now that the best provisions of this White House of 2021 passed in the third stimulus, which are social reform items like the CT, the C, the child tax credit, are now set to expire in the next few days because they could not get them extended by the passage of this recall. So, do I believe it's going to become law in January? Yes. When I had a live chat last night with viewers, I asked them, do you believe, and twice on afternoons and evenings, do you think the recall is going to become law in January? They said yes. And with that, I have my big analysis situation in the final 5 minutes of this video. Let's now go over these checks in this recon. These checks in this recon are your single biggest payday across the board. The great news as we start this big morning is that everything that's in there is still in there, and they can still add more stuff because it's not a done deal. It's not a done deal. It's not a done piece of legislation. So they can still add in those MSCs, $2,000 the first month, $1,000 thereafter. The only thing that came out this last week was immigration reform, and that's exactly what I told you was coming out. So how many changes are in this incredible, how many checks are in this incredible recon? At least $15,000. Get your pen and paper ready. We're going to go over each of them starting right now. The first check that's in there is the paid leave. A lot of money, $1,700 a week if you make $70,000 or more per year. If you make $35,000 or more per year, $800 a week. $15,000 annual salary, $800 a week. Wait a second, $400 a week. Sorry about that. $15,000 annual salary, $400 a week. How many weeks? Up to 4 weeks per year. And if you do not work, but live with your son and daughter, and they do work, they're going to get the check for the household if they have to take off from work to take you to the doctor. It's incredible. Then they got in there the SALT cap, raising it from $10,000 to $72,500. That is huge. The SALT cap is how much you can deduct on your federal tax return of state and local taxes, raising it up across the board, which then sets us up for $40 billion of free job training, got it in there. And then thereafter, one of the best provisions of the recon, which is the big Medicaid gap fix. 12 Republican states vowed to never provide you Obamacare. Millions of Americans are asking daily, where's that cheaper medical insurance? Here it is. Democrats got a workaround plan in there to provide years of subsidized private insurance to uninsured people in those states. And then we get to the best provisions in the entire recon, the housing. $150 billion of it with 6 programs, 3 new and 3 old. The 3 new ones are home repairs, weatherize your home, and first-time home purchases. And the other 3 that are returning back are from third stimulus. The great news is you don't have to wait for fourth stimulus to become law because you can get that money right today from third stimulus. And boy, are we ever. We're going to get it starting right now. And that money from third stimulus is a lot of it. What is it? It is money for rent, utilities, and mortgage assistance. And the viewers of this channel earlier this year got $45,000. In the last few days, they've gotten $5,000. Let's go over this incredible sums of money. Get your pen and paper out if you're not a member. If you are, get your newsletter out. First, what is this? This is third stimulus. The average viewer of this channel the last 2 weeks from this got $5,000, 46 months of rent, and 2 utilities. Back in December 2020, it was exactly the same situation as it is today. We were waiting for second stimulus to become law. It was not. And now we're waiting for fourth stimulus to become law. And it's not. At the time, I said, you have holiday bills to get paid. Let me go get you some other sums of money. And I got them. Rent, utilities, and mortgage assistance. Tyrone and his family for Boston got $15,000 at the time. What did I teach viewers at the time? You got a wad of cash in your pocket. $1,000 to pay the landlord this December's month's rent. What if you don't have to take that money out of your wallet because someone else paid your rent for you? Then suddenly the money stays in your wallet and you can use some of that money to buy some holiday gifts, some other money, some of the parts of the money to buy some holiday meals or maybe some holiday travel. Yeah, that's how we get financial independence. And we did really well at the time in December 2020, $250,000 when there was not a lot of money available for this. At the same time, I saw a body of legislation floating around, and I coined the expression third stimulus because when I looked at it, I said, this is another stimulus package, and I'm going to call third. There's a $14 stimulus check in there, but there's a lot more money for this for rent and these other items. And you've been getting this now this last week for second stimulus. I'm going to show you how to get a lot more of it under third stimulus. And you're going to be sophisticated because you have already gotten it before. You're going to be a purple hawk, and be able to pounce before anyone else. Well, when it became law, and I said I can get you about $15,000. The viewers of this channel got on average $45,000. So what happened 2 weeks ago? You and I had a Vulcan mind melt. We had the same thought. We did not think the fourth stimulus recon was going to put cash in our hands before Christmas. So I said, let's go get some third stimulus. And viewers were surprised for two reasons. One, if they had never got it before, because they're new to this channel, they thought the money was used up. It was not. Number two, if you had been a viewer of this channel, had got to the money before, you thought you couldn't get it again. You can. So get your pen and paper ready. We can go over sums of money right now. But first, here's some incredible comments. And we have Amy, who says, thank you for your unprecedented dedication to helping your viewers learn financial independence during this uncertain time in your nation. Your extensive coverage of detailed current information has been a blessing to so many. Your demeanor is always pleasant, positive, and a pillar of hope for the American people. So she got 3 rounds of utilities, her most recent round just a few days ago, a second round of rent, and then food. And why do I like her story? Because she got multiple rounds, but also she's in a rural area of Kentucky. So she wanted Americans to know there is money available everywhere. We have Sandra, who got money. We have Judy, who says, you're Jesus' skies. She did exactly what I said. Last year, she got $3,000 this time last year. So she got another $3,000 just this week. And now she says she's able to get Christmas gifts paid for, and which is what she wanted. Incredible. Incredible stories keep on coming in left and right. And they come in from viewers like Thorn Diaz. Average payment, 4 to 6 months of rent. And one of the best stories comes in from Chris. He had gotten $10,000 from this early this year as a viewer and member of this channel, but didn't think he could get it again, or let alone the money was still available. He listened and he said, I would have never known about this. And so he got the money. How much you get? $4,800. So get your pen and paper ready. We can go over how you get the sums of money right now. We can go over rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, and more. And we're going to go right into that rent off the bat. The rent pays a lot of money. Let me show you what the graphic was. Here it is, 3 months ago. $20,000 to $30,000 of rent. Now viewers are getting upwards of $40,000 of rent. One viewer got $40,000. One viewer got $138,000 this last week for many programs in this recon, including rent. So where do you get this money? Here you go. Make notes. Here is where you want to follow along with the newsletter as well. 6 places you get this money from: City Hall, City House Authority; County Hall, County House Authority; State Hall, and State House Authority. And the keywords you're going to say are rent assistance because of COVID, rent or mortgage or utility assistance because of COVID. There are 3 musts. You must reach out to all 6 places. You must get applications on file everywhere, and you must do multiple rounds. So if you did 1 round before, do another round today. Here's utilities. Reach out to all utility companies. If you got 5, reach out to all 5. Mark's brother-in-law got $15,000 in utilities. SNAP, wow, incredible. SNAP is money for food. You get it from the Department of Agriculture. If you got a third stimulus check, folk, you should not be paying for your own food. You should be getting SNAP from the Department of Agriculture. Mark's brother-in-law is getting $25,000 a year from this channel. Over 10 years, $250,000. Combos. Nisi and Art Sullivan started it. They got 3 items on this channel. I said, do what Nisi and Art did. Get 3 items. Here's Mark. He was at 2 items at 32. I said, where's your third? Get more. He did. Brought him to 50,000. He has since got more. He's over 100,000. Here's Lorraine. She was at 105. Now she's at 120. This is third stimulus, and this is meat and potatoes. It's paying out right now. This is the money you can get right now that frees up cash in your wallet. You don't have to pay for the rent this month or next month or the month thereafter, and you can have that incredible holiday stimulus. And countless viewers have learned it and gotten it in the last few days. The incredible story of Johnny details how to do this so quickly and so well. He has a 3-part story for you. And part 1 of his incredible story featured Johnny on Monday watching this channel's videos and never knowing about these sums of money. By the middle of the week, Wednesday, he got 3 programs approved. How much money? $45,000. Very good. By the weekend, he kept on applying for more programs because I say get as much money as you can, and he listened carefully. He did. How many programs did he get approved by the end of the week? 7. Wow. Why do I like part 2 of the story? Because Johnny clearly made 15 phone calls. You have a 20 to 50% rejection rate until you get approval, until you start getting those approvals. How much money you get in 5 days, 7 days? He got $80,000. For that viewer that always says, I called 1 place and they said no, or I called 2 places, they said no, you're doing it the right way. Johnny made 15 phone calls, so keep on making those phone calls. Part 2 of Johnny's incredible story follows the following Monday. 2 family members reach out to him and says, what have you been doing? He says, I got some stimulus money. They said, from who? LALATE. A third stimulus, how come we have not heard this on Broadcast Media? He said, let me show you what it is. He did. He showed them the videos, and they each got $50,000. They became believers. What's the landscape in America? The landscape in America is this channel is number one, right, on the subject matter right now, geopolitical news. Number 3 overall in all financial news. But there's a lot of different financial news to cover, so I can't cover every subject matter. Doesn't mean their subject matters don't exist. Doesn't mean my subject matters don't exist. So consider becoming a member today. But let's go to the third part of Johnny's incredible story. 2 Sundays ago, I got a private message from Johnny. He said, people kept coming over, asking me what I was doing. I showed them, third stimulus, watch the videos, become a member. And I kept on helping more people. I said, how many people did you help, Johnny? He said, 32. I said, 32. How much money did you get them? $850,000. If they can get $850,000, you should as well. So go right in this video right today and can become a member. Become an incredible member of this incredible family to get that newsletter, Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time via the YouTube alert system and the LALATE alert system. It features the 6 places to get that money from that you reach out to. The keywords you say. It also features the 3 musts. Plus, it features stuff not covered in the video. For example, it covers what you need to say from Treasury when you're reaching out for the money. It also features the incredible 5 nonprofits and where do they help across the board and where is that one nonprofit that helps with those home repairs. Consider becoming a member today. The membership newsletter link is under the video. And with that, let's go back into that 4 stimulus recon where we left off at the housing provisions. 3 provisions are new. First one is home repairs. This is all type of homes across the board. The second one is weatherize your home. This is certain types of homes across the board. And then first time home purchases, they got that money in there. That would be money given to the seller in your name by the federal government during escrow. There we go. And that is the housing provision of that 4 stimulus recon. But what are some of those other incredible provisions of this recon? Well, they got in there the in-home health care, $150 billion if you're senior people, person on disabilities. They got in there the nutrition $550 check for my Pell Grant recipients and the $12,500 for the new electric vehicle. Meantime, they also got in there $65 a month per kid when they are not in school across the board. But then we get to one of the best provisions of the entire recon, the cheaper medicine. And this is really great, folks. It'll start with 20 medications on day 1, dramatically discounted. Cancer, arthritis, diabetes, Medicare Part B, Medicare Part D, the most expensive medications, coming down dramatically. Will increase to 30 medications by the year 2028 and cannot increase more than the rate of inflation. Otherwise, there's a penalty provision. Penalty provision. So that is among many of the issues that the parliamentarian looked at this week. But the great news is that all your checks stayed in there. And this number is clearly a lot more than 15,000. The recon has all those new checks, has a repeat of the items from third stimulus that page out 45,000. It has those Senate add-ons as well. That is why this is the biggest payout we ever seen in the history of this channel. Meantime, what is important for you to know is that these provisions would be a massive payday, and there's still another offer on the table for executive order. And what is that? Student loan debt forgiveness. The president has offered to forgive $10,000 of student loan debt if you became disabled, went to work in the nonprofit sector or the profit sector after graduation. The Democrats haven't made a decision about that, but they should take it. This is the latest offer about student loan debt from the president. 5th stimulus. What about that 5th stimulus across the board? That 5th stimulus is heating up and confusing a lot of people with the COLA raise and the SNAP. So let me break it down. Your benefits are going up 5.9% January 1 automatically. All beneficiaries. You don't have to do anything. Now, you want your benefits to go up. We've been fighting to have your benefits go up for over 2 years. As they go up, that is considered income. There's more income in your being generated for you. And if you have more income, then your SNAP is going to go down proportionally. COLA is 5.9%. SNAP was increased 25% in the month of October. So as your COLA goes up, in some states, your SNAP may go down. Now, 5th stimulus looks to give you even more retirement benefits by coming in across the board and adding in provisions as well. Meantime, what happened with the Federal Reserve this week? What is happening with the president? What is hacking me with shock? And what is happening with the vote on the recon? Here's a lot of analysis in my final 5 minutes of this video with new details you haven't heard until today. And it all is about your recon and the economy going forward. And the analysis about this and how it impacts your wallet starts right now. Well, when we look at this incredible fourth stimulus, there is a clear reminder of something from 2020. Back in 2020, I made countless recordings where I said, you know what, if the economy is really strong at that point, they may not want to do this, or someone may blame it. Mitch McConnell may talk about the economy really big. So as we go into the weekend, very, very interesting situation, which is when we were talking about this recon, fourth stimulus recon, no less than 3 weeks ago, economic data was really robust. We did not have Omicron yet. And Delta's latest surge was not happening. What happened? Well, we had the lowest unemployment number since the 1950s, the greatest job participation number. People were not on the sidelines anymore. They were double vaccinated, coming back in the workforce. And the cost of labor coming down. Inflation was not yet perceived as enormously out of control, but was coming in at 6.9%. And so these were big economic numbers. Well, when the Federal Reserve met this week and announced its policies for next year, guess what the Federal Reserve's chairman, the number one economist in the nation, said? I don't know what's going on with Omicron and the variants and Delta. So I'm going to taper fast, but I'm not going to say anything about interest rate spikes yet because I don't know where the economy is going. And I won't know that until we see what's going on with Omicron and Delta. So how different is the United States today than no less than 2 weeks ago? Night and day different. 2 weeks ago, great unemployment numbers, great job participation numbers, out of control unemployment, out of control inflation, signaling that maybe a Joe Manchin quote at the time that he's unsure about fourth stimulus recon because of massive inflation, and that if you give any more stimulus, we may be hurting this economy, is now an out of touch, outdated remark, even by the Fed's own words, but especially as what's going into this weekend. We now see that businesses are closing down during the holiday season because of the virus, that travel is being canceled because of the virus, that major industries are shutting down, whether it's Broadway or professional games are shutting down because of the virus. If businesses shut down because of the virus, then there's less money, less business making less money, employees not being employed, losing their jobs, more unemployment, people laid off, they have to go back on unemployment, people having less money in their wallets. It just reverts. We revert back to bad economic data. This is exactly what the Federal Reserve said early this week when we didn't see these massive out of control COVID cases we're seeing this weekend. Currently, the latest wave, caused more by Delta than Omicron, is causing labor, economic, and business disruption. And that is not going to be good for people's wallets. So in a strange way, and this is the first time you're hearing us on this channel, in a strange way, the resurgence of the virus in massive magnitude this weekend and the end of this week now signals that a Joe Manchin quote that I'm worried that the stimulus will hurt a too robust economy by making it even more robust is actually an incorrect economic statement now. It's actually a very, very incorrect economic statement. And you don't have to even rely upon my statement for that. You can look to the Federal Reserve, because the Federal Reserve said, I don't know what's happening with the variants before this big surge came on. And if the variants are out of control, we may change course. But for now, we're not announcing interest rate spikes because we think this economy is going to slow quickly because of what we see already with the understanding of Omicron when he made that announcement. Takeaway is, I believe going into January, the Democrats have now a renewed ability to say, yeah, you need this recon. because of the virus, labor disruption, and economic interruption right now happening in the month of November, December, and will continue in January and February. In a way, it's a perfect timing to get the recon done. Could have been better timing? Yeah, it could have been better timing to get the recon voted on this week. It would have been perfect timing to call the vote this week because this situation is getting so disruptive at the moment that it would have been perfect to call the vote. Instead, the vote in January. What are the Democrats saying? Democrats saying we have to get the recon done because the provisions of the third stimulus are now expiring, and the midterm elections are coming up, and we're going to be toast. We're going to be thrown out of office. If you missed yesterday's afternoons and evenings live special reports, they're going to re-air it later today on this channel. I want you to watch them because in the polling, I asked viewers in the live chat, do you think that the White House senses any sort of sense of urgency to get the recon done in December versus January? Viewers said no. In fact, the business reports out there say the same thing. But I asked a harder question, which was, do you think the president is trying to roll the recon into January so it's close to the midterm elections to help his party pass this recon very close to the midterm elections, say, hey, yeah, we did this for you? Viewers overwhelmingly said yes. Viewers overwhelmingly said yes, that there's a sense that someone, once again, is trying to use legislation to manipulate people's votes. If there's one thing we learned on this channel from 2020, and if the president's watching today, I'd say, hello, Mr. President, do not do that, because Americans see this a mile away. When you try to pass legislation to manipulate their vote and do it at the 11th hour, they see it. And even if it's not the 11th hour, even if it's 3 months ahead of time, they see it. When it's regarding their money and getting the money as quickly as possible, and it's not coming as quickly as possible because you're trying to use it to help your political endeavor, they see it. We talked about this in just October 2020. No, excuse me. We talked about this in August 2020 and September 2020, when it looked like then President Donald Trump was trying to get that second stimulus late deal with Steve Mnuchin and Nancy Pelosi done because we were getting very close to the election. I said he can't leave it to the last second. And you know why this doesn't work also? It's the timing issue doesn't often pair out. When we're talking about the recon, we're not talking just about IRS stimulus checks. We're also talking about housing provisions, things like that. The programs have to be set up. They have to send the money out to the programs. The programs have to send you money. Sometimes it's not an overnight position. And guess what? Guess what is overnight? The mailed ballot. The mailed ballot's coming. The mailed ballot comes, and then you're waiting for that fourth stimulus recon to send out the cash. It hasn't sent it out. Do not manipulate people's sentiments across the board. Meantime, what other two items can you use to get money under third stimulus? Do details today. So when you're looking at your success stories, if you got the 4 to 6 months of rent the last few days, you got 2 utilities, where is that third round? Where is that third utility, that fourth utilities? Look at the utilities you did not get that money for. Go get it. And viewers have listened to me and got to that as well. So get that third or fourth utilities. Number 2, if you got rounds of money in the last few days, get another round. So if you got 1 or 2 rounds, get another round. Here's an example. Let's say Organization 1 paid you September, October, November's rent 2 days ago. Go get another organization to pay you December, January, February. That's how we rock and roll. Meantime, coming up next is Holidays LA. It's our lighthearted midday show that starts with a recap of the recon, and the second half goes right into your holiday decor. It's coming up at 11 o'clock, and that is less than about 40 minutes from now. Then after that, we have our 1 o'clock Afternoons LA and a brand new Afternoons LA show at 3 o'clock. If you did not see what has been happening in the last few days on this channel, we rolled out a brand new show by accident. By accident. No promo, no, people didn't know what happened. And guess what? It's the most watched show on the channel. When did this happen? Yes. The new show is called Evenings Extra, and it airs at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, opposite Casino at the same time slot. What happened? It was just an accident. And guess what? It has been a jaw-dropping, massive success. I appreciate that you like that time slot and that show. So now it is part of our extended evenings programming schedule, which is 5 o'clock Evenings LA, brand new show daily. 6 o'clock Evenings Countdown. a recap of the major events. At 7 o'clock is Holidays Stream Stimulus. Half holiday decor, half stimulus. And then at 8 o'clock, 2 shows. Calcino Humor Only, but then the brand new massive hit show, Evenings Extra, at 8 o'clock, before we go into our our overnight shows at 9, 10, 11:30 as well. And with that, I want you part of this incredible family. So drop a hit on that subscribe button right now. Subscribe. Like the video, 2,000-3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member so you get that incredible newsletter Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time from the YouTube and the LALATE alert system. Stay with this video. Coming up next is Holidays LA. This video will automatically take you there. Have a big, beautiful day, and join me next throughout the day with programming. Remember, do not miss a single program or a single day of shows on this channel because the situation is very fluid across the board. Stay informed, stay focused, have a beautiful morning, and stay with LA for more.